Hey, this is Brandon Steele. I'm a financial planner and one of the co-founders of Mainsail Financial Group. And we wanted to spend some time really talking about the different ways that you can work with an advisor. I think there's so much confusion, so much uncertainty around the different ways that advisors are paid. So we wanted to spend a few minutes just breaking apart these different structures and some of the pros and cons to each so that you can make an informed decision and really understand what goes into an advisor and client relationship. So generally, there are three ways that an advisor might be compensated. It might fall under a commission-based model. Maybe they charge some sort of consulting fees for advice, or potentially, and maybe most often, we see a percentage of assets charged to help manage and also incorporate the other services. One of the oldest ways that we see advisors paid is through a commission-based model. Again, as I'd kind of mentioned, this is kind of that old school approach. A lot of times under this commission-based model, there's also products, annuities or mutual funds or insurance products, whatever it may be, where the commission may not come out of your pocket specifically, but the insurance carrier or whoever it might be might pay that advisor a commission. So a lot of times you may not see these commissions directly, but they are there, and it may incentivize an advisor in certain ways that you may or may not feel is in your best interest. The second model we see a lot is a consulting model. So generally speaking, advisors may charge either like a one-time consulting fee or maybe some sort of monthly consulting to really provide the advice that they're offering. One of the benefits here is this is kind of a great opportunity for you to get to know that advisor, get a better sense of the type of work that they do and what's all involved in their services. One of the challenges, though, is that this may not provide much of an ongoing relationship. You know, if you're paying a one-time consulting fee, as you might imagine, that may take care of a project, but over time, the advice and the relationship may start to taper off a bit. The third approach is through an asset management fee. This is probably the most common one that we see and generally one that we work the most commonly through as well. How this works is an advisor may charge some sort of percentage of assets. What this can do is put the advisor and the client on the same side of the table so that anytime there is any sort of change made to the portfolio or recommendation made outside of it, you know that's in your best interest and not because there may be some sort of commission or sales charge or something kind of going on behind the scenes. Here at Mainsail, we generally work in two of the three different areas, either a consulting fashion or more of an assets under management basis. Today, we're going to spend a lot of time focusing on the asset under management fee and the structure around that because that's where most of our clients fall and honestly where we feel we can do the best work. So let's take a minute to talk about the asset under management structure. Generally, if your advisor is compensated in this way, they may charge anywhere from, let's say, 0.5% all the way up to maybe 2.5%. It really just depends on their particular practice and how they've decided to structure things. For today's sake, to make the math a little easier on me, let's assume that that advisor charges 1%. This is also a little more typical in our industry, so I think it's a really relevant fee basis to kind of use around this. But let's say you have $1.5 million portfolio. If the advisor is charging a 1% fee, the annual compensation to your advisor is going to be $15,000. Now that may be split up into monthly or maybe quarterly payments, just depending on how they've structured things. But either way, through the course of the year, it's going to be the same compensation. What this does is put the advisor and the client on the same side of the table. Both you and your advisor will benefit as the portfolio grows, but you also share in the risks of that portfolio as well. This helps make sure that your incentives are aligned all the way across the board. So what does this fee get you? I think this is where a lot of confusion comes about in our industry because we have a very, very broad spectrum of advisors. On one end of the spectrum, we have advisors who focus only on that particular asset. So for that fee that they're charging, they will give you investment advice on that one account and that one account alone. On the other end of the spectrum, we have advisors who focus more on comprehensive planning. Similar to what we do here at Mainsail, where they may also look at things like tax planning. They may look at outside accounts. They may look at how your property impacts you, whatever the case may be. So there's no right or wrong here, but it is important to understand what you are getting for that fee, what type of advisor you are working with, and what you are looking for. Right? If you're looking for somebody to really look at the whole picture, you may want to find somebody on the comprehensive side of the equation. If you are looking at just investment advice for one account only, you may want to look on the investment advice side of the equation. If you are looking for a true planner, though, I do think it is important to really address that. Some planners out there may really only focus on cash flow or high-level tax planning or whatever it might be. A true planner should really look at all of the above. They're going to look at tax planning in detail. They're going to look at risk management. They're going to look at wealth management. They're going to look at retirement planning, help you with estate planning and how you can help leave a legacy as well. As with anything, we never want to overpay for investment advice. That said, I think it's really important to think about the incentive that you're providing to your advisor. You want the advisor that you're working with to be incentivized to give you the best possible advice, the best possible service, and really look at all the areas that are important to you. Most of our clients fall under the fee under asset management structure. I think that this gives us the best opportunity to provide the best advice and service we can offer, not only at any given time, but really to build that relationship over the long haul. This allows us to be proactive and constantly be there for our clients. That said, as an investor, there may be any number of reasons to look at other structures as well. Maybe a commission makes sense for some folks. Maybe a consulting approach makes sense for some folks. Either way, it's important to really understand what you are looking for and understanding some of the pitfalls and the advantages to each of those structures so that you can make the most informed decision possible.